you're sexy, let me see you turn up. You the mothers of the world, I call it mixed universe. Celebrate who you are, celebrate what you got, baby mama. Baby mama, yeah, baby mama.
Hi, welcome to Everything Motherhood with me, Nabifo Wamunga. Today we have a guest who I'll introduce to you shortly. Previously, we had Estella Mugyenyi, Mama Children, who spoke to us about her challenges and how she ended up being called Mama Children and how she helps and how you can get in touch with her. So make sure to watch that episode or to listen to it on the Radio Basket. This week, we have with us a very fascinating guest. Her name is Beatrice Tusiime Mugyenyi. She's an entrepreneur. She's into real estate. She's a creative. She owns an art, fashion and design cafe called Bisoyuji. So if you're in the Bukoto area, make sure to check it out. It's quite an interesting space, and she makes some creative garments, but I'll let her go more into detail about that. Welcome.
Thank you so much. As she already has introduced me by the names Beatrice Tusiime Mugyenyi, sometimes known as Beat. And as she said, I do a lot of entrepreneur. I look at opportunities basically and just try to tap in. I'm sometimes just looking at myself. Am I really trying to be an opportunistic? Yes, it's okay to be one. Yes, so I do Missouri Kampala shared houses for the last 12 years.
Wow.
The popular houses were the beach house and the garden house. And yes, they still exist. And then now I'm into fashion and design, creative art, and it's all about Ugandan products, using what is available and feel okay with what is available. Make it creative, make it fancy, make it funky, and that's all I do. So I have that Bisoyuji space. It's not just a business, I would say, but at the moment we are really trying to look at it. How does it fit into the environment?
Yes.
And that is being environmental friendly business and sustainable business. So we empower Ugandans with local materials to own the space and call it theirs.
Yes, I think the last time I was there, you were having a creative class on writing, free creative class on writing.
So as a business, it's an art and fashion hub cafe, but it's also offering time to anyone who is out there seeking skills or is actually seeking sharing knowledge on whatever they do, more especially to the youth or women. So we had, by the time you were there, we had the creative writing classes, and that is offered every Wednesday from 3 to 5, and it's actually someone who is locked up in the country who offered his time for free to the space.
Oh, wow.
To actually get to see how much people out there in the country love writing, poetic, fiction. It's amazing. I would love to be part of that class, but I let those who really treasure it get in there. So feel free to check out our Facebook page for more details if you want to join the classes. It's still going on every Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's B.Soyuji.
On the Google map, it's B.Soyuji, and on the Facebook page, it's B.Soyuji. If you just type it in Google search, they will bring you a lot of information about us. And you can also come and have a look at the space itself. It has a lot of art, a lot of fashion, creativity, woodwork, metalwork, everything you imagine what a Ugandan talented young person can think of to grow with at a bigger picture. Not just looking at what the craft market has to offer, but this time put onto a standard of selling at a world market. You can come and share a book because we have some bookshelves there, or you pick a book and take a book home. So this is the space we are trying to imagine, that many people can have the traffic there with different needs We have cooking classes, we have crochet and knitting classes. So really, there is a lot we want to offer to the space, not just as a business. We are not
You're
like
a social
foreign
enterprise.
Yes, we are not an investor coming from somewhere. We really want to be sure that Ugandans feel there is that creativity and there is also us feeling we are part of this community. What do we offer?
Yeah, so the thing that I love about you is that you talk with so much passion about your business as well as with so much passion about motherhood. And our conversation today is going to try to merge your two worlds of motherhood and business. So maybe we can start with you telling us, when did you become a mother?
I became a mother in 2014 with my first child, Malaika, who is almost turning 7. I just love to be a mom and imagine how busy the world needs me to be, and then how the little ones want me to be there for them, and not forgetting another baby who is my husband.
So I think we've established through this podcast that the husband is baby number 1.
Yes. But yeah, I have 2 beautiful kids, and one is Malaika, Neil. They all are amazing kids. So I must say, like, being a mom gives me so much energy and passion to work, actually. So I have to say, at some point I was a bit scared how the two will merge, but it's going well. Very positive.
Maybe you can encourage some of us who are working mothers as well. How do you do it? How do you find the balance?
The balance has to really be in you, I would say, because having decided to have my first child at the age of 29, and I was very sure that at least I should not have kids until I am 30 or 29, I would say. So I was really like planning my way out there to imagine by the time I have the kids, am I ready for it? I can only say that sometimes you're not ready for it. Yeah, but you can try to plan it. It's not a big deal to say I will have kids, but I don't know when they will come, and or if they will come, I will be with this, I will be doing this. So the first important thing I personally felt like I should have kids when I can manage my own time. And that's when I was sure I'm a businesswoman. No one is going to ask me, do this, and then I don't have to divide up my time with kids. I have to really be there for them. So that was number one. So in 2014, the Missouri Kampala shared flats was already established. And in 2013, towards the end, I had quitted my last job. And that was the time I was like, I'm getting there. So 29 years of age, I gave birth to Malaika. And I was very happy to have my time divided for working for myself and being there for this little girl that I saw an angel coming into this world.
But what I know about entrepreneurs is that you give up working from 9 to 8 to now work almost around the clock for yourself, because in the beginning you're the boss, you're the cleaner, you're the cook, you're the, all those positions. So how did you balance that beginning of the entrepreneurship journey with the beginning of motherhood?
So I must say that actually my businesses started while I was working in an office for a sustainable tourism organization funded by USAID, if you remember STAR. And I would say, like, I looked at it, I have 8 hours always in office. And then I have, in this context of working for myself, I was always looking at what would I do for 8 hours of myself in my own creativity. So to answer your question, I see 2 things there. The beginning is really tough. But once you really start, that is the heaviest thing. And once you start, nothing stops you. So if you're going to be a cleaner, be a cleaner. If you're going to be that engineer climbing up and trying to fix the roof, please do it. the energy that you give yourself in the beginning is what matters for you to lay down the foundation of how the business will be sustainable. Talking about sustainability of a business, I have only thought of the way to actually let the business run on its own sustainably is every worker from a cleaner up until to the last person must own it. Then it's less hectic. I have seen it before I had my baby that I'm getting there. There are not many phone calls. A guest arrives at the airport, someone is picking him up, someone is already showing him where the room is, and he's just like feeling at home and not even an email saying, oh, I reached at the house. So it just feels that there is that ownership from the workers feeling this is ours. And that's how I started feeling that I can relax now to call it Muzuri Shared Houses. And the workers are amazing there. It's teamwork. So I would say like most of the times we struggle because we don't want to really understand the workers. And the workers must just own it. Then you really have to communicate and talk to them how the communication goes. Yeah.
So being a business owner, how do you deal with that? Do you have any employees who are mothers, and how do you deal with them?
Oh, that's a nice question. So this is what I wanted to let you know. I have workers who are women, and I can only tell you, the energy of motherhood is amazing. I have seen them get pregnant at work, and I'm watching them. I'm like, what if it was me? They just clearly show you they want to work. This has happened. So what? So I always empower them. You know what? Let's sit down. I see your situation. Are you able to do this? If it's like a cleaner, let's say, can you bend? Can you manage everything? They always say, yeah, I'll work until I feel I can't. So that is already amazing to hear from a woman. I watch until the day she's ready to come and tell me, oh, madam, I think this month, please hire someone else. No, they don't let you do that. So I always ask them, please let me know where you're uncomfortable. But of course, I try to understand their situation and try to give a hand where I can, let them go earlier, let them come sometime when it's a bit calm down at the business. So I have to say, it is all about you. If you imagine you're fired for being pregnant,
Yes.
it's not a nice feeling. So I let my workers really work and get empowered with their kids. Sometimes they come with the little ones as long as they're not crying and screaming. And if they're screaming, it's okay. So I try to look at which scenarios fits a mom with a baby and which scenarios fits a mom who has a child who is just playing on the corner alone while she's doing her work. And I just have to say, all the time I have started my businesses, I have always told women it's okay for you to have a job and give birth. Yeah.
That's really, really empowering. Now, when it comes to the financial aspects of motherhood, maybe I should leave it as vague as that so you can answer it whichever way you want.
Sure.
How do you handle the financial aspects of motherhood, considering you're also a business, because your business is also like your baby?
Yes.
So how do you handle that?
The financial aspect of motherhood, that's why I'm telling any woman out there, when you really feel your pocket has something, give birth. As many kids as you want because you can really afford it.
Yes.
Check your account, check your pocket. If you really feel it's just going to be too much for you, hold on a second. It is so expensive. That's what I can tell you. But I have found out a quickest way to make it cheaper. Invest into your child when it's young in terms of healthy, good feeding, dieting the kids in the right foods. Then you actually live, I would say, like, then it gets a bit cheaper because this rushing into hospitals here is what gets it really expensive. Forget about the diapers and all that. We have the natural way how to do it, the UG style. But the whole healthy system of our country and how the babies quickly pick up some infections is what gets it expensive. For clothing, forget it. We can always find second-hand clothes. You wrap around the child. But it's actually that moment where you feel your child is in pain. That's where you like, I can't help the child because you're not a doctor, and then you need a good hospital. No solution to that. You have to pay.
Yeah.
So it is quite a challenge to balance the two, I would say, to look at it in two ways. How expensive is it going to be? Look at our mothers down in the village. They really did care about us in the village. Yes, they did. But by then they were just doing their own medicinal plants and all that, which don't exist anymore. And it's sad. But I will tell you, it's up to you as a mom to imagine, how do you get your child healthy in a proper planning way of, this child should never blame me in future. So that's why I say, trying to really imagine how much you can read and research and follow the doctor's advice on how to feed your child, how to keep the health of the child, so you really get it less expensive on your own. But it's expensive to be a mom, but it's beautiful. That's the money you spend happily. Yes.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Before I used to love shopping for myself, but now it's like you go shopping for yourself, but you end up with about 10 items for the child. Maybe, if you're lucky, one.
That is so true.
One for yourself.
That is so true, because I remember those days when I used to just pop into a shop and I'm grabbing everything for myself. But when you're pregnant, the first thing you even start shopping before you even know the sex of the baby. You just literally shopping for the baby, the comfort of the baby. But now I feel there is a lot of access to really good stuff out here. You can get really nice stuff. Of course, they're expensive, but it's your child. Please spend on your child.
I've seen at your shop, at your cafe, you also have some really nice African stuff for children that's not really so common. What made you think to include that?
Oh, that's a really good question, because having been a mom and starting this art space, I mean, BSOUG existed, this is our 7th year. And I would say it also began when the whole idea began when I was pregnant. I used to design my husband's T-shirts, shirts, and everything while I was pregnant at home, and trying to be creative when I'm pregnant. And that is when the fashion line began. So I didn't take it for granted. Where there was opportunity, I took it further and started some few shops and friends wanting stuff. So the whole idea of fashion and art began when I was pregnant. I don't take it for granted not to include a mother or a child. So at the Art Cafe space, we have the children playground, which is self-created with a lot of materials that exist here, or recycling materials. I love recycling, reusing stuff. So the other section of the shop where the clothings are, we have the baby blanket, we have the cribs, we have all these things that you can order, the diaper covers. And those were my challenges when I was a mom. At this Malaika being my first baby, I was looking at it like, why do I have to shop everything from Chinese products and all that? In that moment, I was just like, I'm going to try to be like how moms used to do it back then. What did they do? They used the local materials and ended up getting us dresses and whatever you imagine, knitting stuff, blankets. I knit even up to now. But that point, I was more or less, let me try to be the example, not just to tell the story that every business, every space like that needs to integrate a mom and a child. Because you get out of your gate, the first thing you see out there is children or a pregnant mom.
Yes.
But quite often businesses don't see that.
No.
And they don't want to integrate that. So I'm trying to imagine, no, every hotel, every place must try to think of a mom or a child to make everyone feel comfortable. So at my space at BSOUG, you could literally come as a mom, shop where the child is playing, or a child-friendly menu, which you can order from the kitchen, and then you feel you have that relaxing moment as parents. This is all I imagine, going in a restaurant or in a cafe and feel I don't have to worry about the child now. I'm here to relax my mind.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt I should integrate it at BSOUG.
Yeah, so being a very busy person, do you have a support system that helps you balance the two, or are you going it alone? Did you ever go it alone? Are you still going it alone?
That's a very good question. I actually have to answer that in two ways. I have a husband who is amazing. He's very child-loving father, and he supports a lot in everything I try to imagine. So he's been there when the kids have been born always, and he's also been there while we are grooming them. It's just that a few years ago, he decided to go for a big job back home in Europe. And I'm now there for the kids for the last 3 years, and he's there. He comes, visits, and we go visit. But I must say that has been a journey. I would say, yes, I have help, and he helps me. And I also say, we are in Africa. There is always someone who is happy to earn a living by helping you while you do your other things. And those are the nannies and the maids. And I've had some maids, but what is so funny is when my husband decided to move back home, I actually, one year I tested myself, my patience in business and motherhood. I decided not to have a maid and just wake up one morning and divide up my life like a modern mom. I wanted to see, how does a modern mom do?
So how was a typical day like? Because you've told me about this, and up to today, I still, because I tried to be this modern mom without help, and I lasted, I think, about 2 months.
Okay.
And by the end of the 2 months, it's like I felt like a slave, So tell me, how was a typical day in the life of this mom who's like, I don't need help. I'm doing this alone from morning to evening.
So that's actually, I will begin with what you just said. I didn't feel like I was a typical slave. I actually felt like I'm an awesome kick-ass mom.
Now you're trying to make me look bad. I felt like I was an awesome kick-ass mom, but then also a slave.
Because this is what happened. Early morning, I woke up and I just imagined I have to take the kids to school. Because Neil was 1.5 years. I needed to take him to a daycare. I was going to kindergarten. And I just woke up and said, where are the water bottles? Where is the juice? Where are your clothes? And nobody is ready to dress themselves up at that age. And I'm literally saying, Malaika, you know where your socks are. You know where your shoes are. She's picking everything very quick. And Neil is like, I don't want to go to school today. I'm like, Neil, we have to go. But I have meetings waiting for me. Probably I have to check everything in all houses. I ran by then 4 houses. And in that moment, I was just like, how do I deal with this? Yes, I took the kids, left them to the school, went to my tiny little office and just watched onto my screens and look at so many inquiries and meetings, phone calls, bills and landlords. And I'm like, okay, let me answer these. Before I finalize everything, I have to pick up the child from school. Neil is the one first, and then I just have Neil have his lunch ready. At one of the houses, there was my office, and I go back to pick Malaika. And when I pick up Malaika, then they are all over me. I can't walk again. I pause a bit. We enter the car, go back home. When we go home, then I have Malaika's homework. Neil is coloring somewhere, and I'm cleaning the house now.
Okay.
So I start the floor, laying the beds. Remember, I rushed when everything was just not worked on. And I have to make dinner. And while I make the dinner, they are crying, I need porridge, I need this. And guess what? In that moment, you feel you have satisfied everyone. and you're left with yourself.
That's
So-
the part. That's the
So
part.
I'm coming to that part. In the evening, I clearly say 7:30, they need to go to bed. Maybe not. They're exhausted as well because I was driving around with Neil to catch up a meeting and all this stuff. They pass out and they've already showered. They're already ready in their pajamas going to bed. Well, they're in bed. I'm working on a clock how to give myself some time. Thankfully, I had a washing machine, I had a dishwasher. So all the machines are on fire, starting, button clicked, and I'm just rushing on 10 o'clock when I can sit down, and everything else is ready for them tomorrow. So I sit down at 10, I read the book, watch some news, or catch
You
up
had
with
time
some
to
friend.
read a book.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I have to quickly read a little bit on how to really be an awesome mom, or read an inspirational line which tells you you're not dying soon. You just can help yourself. Some
Not
inspirational
dying
books.
soon.
Or a line online and whatever. So in that moment, I'm waiting for their father because we always talked every day. And he's catching up. How was your day? How was his day? And then I just sometimes look at the clock. It's coming to almost 2. And my temptation is there, like, you didn't reply this person. An inquiry came in and she's really eager to hear from you. I open again my computer or my email and I clearly see, oh, I could reply that person quickly. I end up replying to 3 emails and I'm like, I need to catch up my sleep. Then I go to bed and morning is already started. I did it over and over, and I can only tell you.
For 1 year.
For 1 year, the kids
Wow.
looked at me and always felt like, Mom is so busy, but we love you, Mama. They hugged me, and that always made me feel so good. My husband always asked me, why did you do this to yourself after I had left? I said, I wanted to test myself. Can I do it? And indeed, I did it, and I have to say, in that moment, I also did it for the children to see that there's no one around them. This time it's only Mom. And she's busy working. You know what they used to play in terms of their toys and dolls and whatever? They only imitated Mom. If they had to draw something, they drew Mom is doing this and this and this. And that was so sweet.
Rewarding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they always played, I'm the mom, I'm driving so fast and I'm going here and I will drop you here, Neil, I'll be back to pick you. It's just that moment when their whole mind is about that working mom and she's there with us.
I'm going to ask you, would you do it again?
I totally would.
I asked you this before off
Yes.
camera, and I must be honest with you, I don't believe you.
This is what I can assure you. I would do it again and again because up to now, I have also still a helper, but
Yes.
she actually steps in when I'm not there. And that's why I'm telling you, I think I can and I will, because it just made me feel the power of a woman. The
Yes.
power of a woman, which is exceptional. I am busy running businesses and I'm looking at the businesses that grow internationally, locally. And I'm also making it look like the children must be a journey with this. And this is why I feel I can do it. And any woman can.
Any woman can,
Yeah.
but then where do you fit Beatrice in all of that? Like, was your hair looking crazy most of the time? Were your nails, were you dressed as smart as you dressed today? Because I feel like something has to give. Something has to give. You can't.
That's a very good question. When it came to myself, I always hire an eyeshadow and I always make my eyebrow and have a lipstick. And I always have now for the last 10 years my hair dreadlocked. It doesn't need me to rush to the salon every day. As long as I brush there in front and put a lipstick and dress up casually. And as you call it smart, I would say I used to be smart before the kids more than this, but I think I'm smart enough right now with my dress up. If I have my shoe that is closed and I can drive quick and faster, I'm good to go. So the whole energy is what I would say. I think I told you this. I have energy. I feel I can do this now before 50. Why not do it now?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I can do it again as long as I'm not complaining of my back, my eye is not seeing properly. I will do it. I have 2 hands.
So basically, you're encouraging mothers that they can have it. Do you believe a mother can have it all?
A mom can have it all. This is what I have always told my friends since 2 years ago. I have believed that the future is female. And saying so, I see lots of politicians now who are rocking the world decisions are women.
True.
I'm not trying to intimidate men. They are aware. And the other part, why I say the future is female, when you look at your kids, you hear the whole boy child being attached to moms. It is just so beautiful that the kids are engaging themselves to imagine when something is not right in a family and they are ready to join you together. And it's just like, but we are half a family if you're trying to really complain about this. A family must have a mom and a dad, but I can only tell you now with the whole society being open-minded, it doesn't have to. It's actually meaning a family must be more like you're all agreeing and compromising to each other. And kids are watching this. So any man out there who is thinking he's going to bully the woman, the kids are watching and saying no. And kids are saying you don't need to do that. So the future is really female.
Amen to that. I think that's a good way to wrap this up. Now, do you have any final comment or final thing that you'd like to leave for our listeners and those who are watching us on YouTube?
I think I just have one comment to say to sum it all up. I just think that as women or moms, we just got to be prepared for whatever comes, and that means you got to stay healthy, huh?
Yeah.
You're going to stay really, really alert about every corner, and then you need energy. Don't lose your energy. So many times I say, I have energy because I can do something. Any woman can do something for themselves. I feel like if you have 2 hands, you have 2 eyes, even if those who don't have showed you they can. So who are you to sit down and complain over life? Wake up, transform that energy you do think you don't have to something you can do for yourself, for your family, for people around you. And that's all I say.
Wow.
As Beatrice, it's all about energy vibes, positive vibes, positive outcomes, positive words will lead always to a positive success of what you imagine the day has.
Wow. You're really, really, truly an inspiration. And I'm so glad that we managed to have this opportunity to get you out of your busy schedule to sit down and inspire and empower other moms that you can really, really do it all and you can really have it all. And as for that 1 year, I mean, I just have to clap for you, because for me it was 2 months and it was a wrap.
No, you can do it.
I had to get help, but then again I just had a C-section, so that was the challenge, and I was thinking I could do it all except with a C-section. And it was not really possible.
No, I agree with you. At some point, we need help. Yeah, but thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure being here, and it's been so nice. Of course, as you said, my busy schedule to step out. I love to step out for things like this that make a great cause, more especially to women.
Wow. I can't say anything more than that. All I can say is to all the moms out there, you're a great mom.
Oh,
Thank you.
Everyone is a great mom out there. Thank you.